Let's take a look at concatenation, because this is quite important when we work with either numbers or strings or any other data type. So basically, we saw that if we try to add these two numbers together, so you can imagine like we have a bank account and we have like $100 in it, and we have another bank account, we have 50 in this one. Wow, we ballin' today, boys. So we can create a all banks here, and basically I can just add these together, bank 1 plus bank 2. Like that. So if we console log this out, console log all banks, what happens when we add the plus sign? We saw that it just adds these numbers together, so 150. So basically JavaScript says, oh, okay, so this is a number and this one is a number. Let me just plus and add them together. Okay, super simple. Well, when we have strings, it's a bit different. So you can imagine like we have a website and we sign up, and the website is going to greet us. It's going to be like, yo, thanks for signing up, Ed, or thanks for signing up, Jonathan. So let's see what happens when we do it to the strings. So maybe we have a greeting message. We can create a double quotes like this, or single ones. Either one will work just fine. And in here we can say, welcome to our website, like that. And then here, maybe after we sign up, we can collect the user's name. So user equals to Ed. Okay, and now if we concatenate these together, I'm just gonna console log it out. Console log greeting plus user, like that. If we hit save, you're gonna see that it just adds them together. So welcome to our website, Ed. But hold up a minute. We have a space here. We don't have a space here. What's going on? Well, JavaScript doesn't really care. So if we want to add a space, we need to explicitly add it either here or here at the beginning of this line. All right, so if we add a space, let's say here at the end of this, you're gonna see that everything works just fine now. Okay, so that's basically concatenation. Now I also want to show you a bit more in depth on what we can do with these strings, especially if we want to add a pair of quotes in here or things of that sort. So maybe I want to say something like, Steve Jobs once said, and then I'm gonna add a pair of double quotes in here. Life is sad. He never said this, but hey, let's go with it. So, okay, our code breaks here. What's going on? So as you can see, it kind of breaks here. Why does it break here? Well, because JavaScript detects these pair of quotes, and it's gonna be like, oh, okay, so here is where the string starts, and here is where it closes up. So everything after this doesn't really make any sense to me, so it's gonna error out. So if we wanna add a pair of quotes in here, in our string, what we need to do is something called escaping it. Escape from the prison. So to escape them, all you need to do is just go before the quote here, and just add a backslash like that. And same goes for here, like that. Okay, and that basically kind of eliminates the issue of having a pair of quotes in here. So if we hit save now, everything is gonna work just fine. And you're gonna see it right here. Okay, so that's great. Now, I kind of told you that we can have single pair of quotes in here, like this. Now for that, let's remove it and see what happens. Well, now we don't have that issue anymore. Take a look. All right, so we don't need to add those backspaces anymore. But we have another problem here. What if I want to say something like it's, like that? That's gonna break it again. So right here, boom, it broke it again. So I need to add another backspace here. And this gets kind of frustrating, as you can see. Now, if you don't want to do any of these things, which I don't create strings like this usually, what we can do is use backticks, and that's gonna solve us everything. So backticks is usually next to your 1 on your keyboard, and you can hold Shift, I believe. Yeah, if you hold, you don't need to hold anything. What am I talking about? You just need to press the thing next to your 1. So that's the backtick right there. So pressing backticks, and then here, if I write any kind of text, hey there, it's ya boy, like that, and then we can even do Lala, like that. So now we don't have any issues anymore. So this is the wonderful thing about using these. And now here's another cool thing. Rather than adding a plus symbol after here and then adding user or something like that and worrying about spaces and things of that sort, we don't need to use this plus anymore. We can do it all inside here. So let's kind of refactor the one we did at the beginning with a greeting and take a look at how we can do it with this new method. So what we can do is say, hey there, welcome to our, I'm going to add a space in here. And the way you can add it, besides adding it with a plus, you can add a $ in here. So let's do a $. And then you can add a pair of squiggly brackets. Okay, and in here you can just add your variable, so user, and I can paste this in here, and that's the whole thing. Let's take a look, and we're getting an error here, and the reason why we're getting an error is because we define user down here, and we try to basically initiate our user up here. So again, I kind of told you that it goes from up to down. It checks, oh, bank value is 150. All right, we add them together here, goes here. I don't know what the user is here. I know what it is down here. So to fix it, I just need to move this up here. And now if we take a look again, there we go. That's what we have. Now we have two eds here. Hello there, welcome to our ed. Let me just remove this console log from down here. And let's just do console log greeting, hit save, and there we go. Hello there, welcome to our ed. That doesn't make any sense, but it works perfectly fine. Okay, so this kind of fixes all the issues of having double quotes, single quotes, and also adding strings together in a beautiful way. Now, what happens if we try to add numbers and strings together? That's kind of interesting. So let's take a look. Let's go down here. I'm gonna kind of remove everything here. And let's create two new ones. Actually, you know what? We can also try them in the browser right here. I can say 1 + 1. All right, so that just gives everything numbers, perfectly fine. Dev plus ed. Oops, I didn't add the finishing quote there. Ed. All right, dev ed. Now take a look at this 1 plus, and I'm gonna add a string of 1 in here. All right, so this is a number and this is a string. Hit enter, and it's gonna give me 11 as a string. So this is kind of a quirky thing that JavaScript sometimes does. It tries to add together things that you shouldn't be able to add them together. So what it basically does is it transforms this to a string for you automatically, and then it just adds the string of 1 to the string of 1 together right here. So that's going to be 11 for you. Okay, so it's kind of a weird thing, but I thought I'm going to show you this as well. Now you might also encounter things like this. You want to do a string, maybe hello, and I want to divide this by 10. So that doesn't make any sense. So you might get this thing called NAN, and which basically means that it's not a number. And what's happening behind the scenes is JavaScript is trying to figure out how to take this hello and kind of turn it into a number, or turn this into a string or whatever, and tries to figure out how to create a final output for you, but it's not working. So it just kind of throws you this not a number. Again, I wouldn't really worry about doing things like this, but sometimes you might try to add a number with a string together without you realizing it, and it's gonna give you some weird results. So I kind of wanted to show you that JavaScript in this case is kind of trying to help you out, but at the end of the day, it's gonna not help you at all, because I would rather get an error here, something like, hey, you're trying to add a string to a number. That's kind of weird. What are you doing? But no, it just gives you back this weird string with 11. So again, later on, you might encounter this issue, but we're gonna take a look at how we can kind of fix it and not worry about things like this ever happening to us. So that's string concatenation for you, and that's how you can add numbers together too, and kind of what happens when you add strings to numbers.